Hello folks, and welcome to my lovely review of Deus Ex Human Revolution. This game was just recently released, and you'll see from the upload date, and I've currently played all the way through it, and I have to say this game is absolutely fantastic, but I'm not going to let you just take my word for it. We're going to actually see some footage of me playing the game, and I'll do some narration over the top, so we're going to see how we're going to work this out. So folks, we're going to do the first snippet, so let's see what it is. And this one is actually to feature the graphics of the game, where, as most people look at it, it is a cutscene. Graphics are going to be slightly better in cutscenes, but I'll tell you this now, it is actually the game graphics. It's as you play them, is this how you'll see. I will admit though, it's not as atmospheric, as you can see this sort of blooming effect, I guess. Not blooming, but I forget the term, but where everything is slightly foggy, you know, there's smoke in the air or things like that. The game doesn't actually feature this. Also, this cutscene is the first cutscene in the game. It's subtitled for your benefit, so if you do want to read what I'm talking about in this review, go ahead. But that's just my impersonation on the graphics of the game. So let's move on to the actual gameplay. So this is us actually starting the game. It's not the start of the game as the start of the thing. As you can tell, I've got inventory and weapons, but this is a fair portion of the game. And we're going to examine several ideas. This is the actual game graphics of it, stealth factor, and combat. So let's weigh up and how it goes. As you can see, the cover system's more reminiscent of Gears of War, things like that. The stealth system, very brutal. But not only that, not only do you leave corpses, you can drag them and hide them away, which is a clever system, I think. You play a lot of games and where the AI wanders over a corpse and it's just like, there's a body, Well, this you have to hide them, because if the AI sees them, it'll trigger alarms and it'll alert everyone else. Exploration though in this game is superb. Always explore, you get rewarded, such as if I didn't open that door, I wouldn't have had that ammo. But anyway, back onto the cover system. It is very reminiscent of most common games. Mass Effect, Gears of War, where you hold a button to take cover. And I do think it's a bit overused as a feature, but in this game, it gives you a bit more looking space for when you're in stealth. It's, I'd say it's forgivable. And this is us, looking into PDAs, that you can pick up information to look up and analyze for codes and all this secretive stuff, But we're going to actually check something, the AI. So let's see how the AI handles a situation. Now, on the map you can see that there's a few arrows. Now that means I know that there's some people there. You can see just the arm there of one of them. So how do I lure them away? And I see this box on top, so we throw it. We'll see what happens. And at the bottom left, you can just see they're alarmed. Something's happened. They want to figure out what. So let's see. And someone's taken the bait. One of the three has decided, you know what, let's investigate. So what we're going to do is we're going to put him to sleep. There we go. And I believe I hit him. So we just wait a few seconds for the tranquilizer to take effect, and he is out for the count. And I have to approve of this. This is fantastic. But to expand on it, aim for the head, instant knockout. I like that targeting, and of course the arrow dips. But notice the friend comes over to investigate what's happened. Easy bait, boom, knocked out again. Absolutely fantastic, folks. So it's all well and good being sneaky and stealthy, but what if...
What happened?
And that's how you murder someone. Now, moving on. So, the one thing else to add in, everyone's seen the combat, the cover system, we've seen it before. What new things have they got? Well, they've got the hacking, where you can access locked computers, locked doors, security systems for gains such as being able to take over robots, disable cameras, turning turrets to your side, or just turning them off. All wonderful things. And of course, they have bonuses. You can see like the cube objects feature viruses to make your hacking jobs easier. Now, although I did just make mention of cameras, so we'll get back to that one later. However, I know you see emails so you can find codes, but you can also look through the environment, find open chests to see then. One note is you need to have that mode enabled. It's by default that is off, where it highlights objects that you can interact with. I recommend having it on, because you'll be sitting there browsing through the entire game going, can I pick up this item? Can I pick up that item? Can I pick up this one? No, it's only some items, unfortunately. And, you know, like, see, it's highlighting at a range. Now, I talked about cameras. Now, there's a camera down there. We have multiple ways of dealing with it. To the room to the right, there's a security console where we can access to turn it off. However, what happens if we track this guy and leave him? Well, you know, maybe he'll fall over, maybe he won't. We'll soon find out. And bullseye. Unfortunately, he was in the range of the alarm and he triggered it. So everyone in the building is now alert that something's gone wrong. His teammate has gone over to wake him up, as we've seen in the previous one. However, there is a more fun way of dealing with this situation, which we shall go into. Everyone likes guns. So how big a gun can we get? The biggest. Let's go in guns blazing. Now, I do appreciate that the game has some limitations. Like, you know, there will be some areas where you do feel railroaded. Unfortunately, that can't be helped. What I do approve of is the aspects of choice you have. You can do this sneakily. You can kill everyone. You can knock everyone out. Or you can go without hurting a single person. You can even do it without firing off a single shot. I love the diversity in the game, that even at the worst situation, there is still always the chance that you can succeed miraculously well. Now, let's analyse something else that we didn't check in. Robots. Now, we're just going to skip forward a little bit here. So here we go. Now, I've skipped a bit. Now, let's try and see if we can bait the guys out. Let's see if we can lull a robot towards us. And, of course, what are robots weak to? EMP. And they've given us EMP mines. Combine a grenade with a mine template, make a big bleeding bomb. Of course, you'll notice my health suddenly jerk up. I'm eating painkillers. Oh, there's the robot. Let's see how we can deal with this situation. Now, notice there's a flashing. You can't really see it. There it is. It's got a nice mine there. Will it work? And you can tell because of the EMP, my total screen's muddled up. Beautiful. Now swapped over to the pistol. Hiding again. So the combat system is wonderful. That you can place traps and you can lull the enemies into them. And heck, you can even hack the alarm system if you so desire, disabling them. Or you can even trigger the alarm system yourself if it so desires you. I have to admit, I get a lot of pleasure out of laying traps and seeing how they work. It's a superb game. Now, here's the inventory system. You can carry as much as you want to fill up as many slots as you like. However, there is another one, the leveling system. You notice that I got experience points for killing. This is what you invest them in. You get per axis for every level, you get one. You can also buy them, and you can invest them in however you want. Now, I have to admit, I love punching through walls. Haven't got it that in this video, but it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, some that you already start off with, like the health system, but in the grand scheme of things, you can take any combination of these and it will work wonderfully to your advantage. So, I think I've summarised a lot of the features of the game, but I don't think I've explained much of the other game to you. The game has a lot of wonderful things going for it. If you've ever played the original Deus Ex or Deus Ex or however you pronounce it, you'll find a lot of love in this game. A lot of love. They've implemented so many features and they're refining the features that were in the old games. Now, I'll tell you now, it is supposed to be a prequel, so there will be things that you're lacking. Like, you won't have dedicated flashlights, but however, there is some flaws with this game that I do not appreciate. These flaws are the boss fights. Now, yes, I'll tell you now, some spoilers for you. Now, if you don't want to hear them, skip forward a few minutes, right? The boss fights themselves are horrendous. And when I mean boss fights, there is one that if you don't have the right set of experience bonuses, like if you're not resistant to lightning, or you do not have the simple one button kills everything skill, then you're at a huge disadvantage and you're likely to get yourself killed. If you invest a lot into stealth and hacking, it's not going to help you in a one-on-one fight with a boss that knows exactly where you are and you're not able to hide. That is the one disadvantage. One of the fights took me over an hour to complete. Not from like start to finish, but because I died so many times in between. And I personally feel that that is something that really could have been changed. Yes, you should have boss fights in games. No. Deus Ex in the original had some boss fights, yes, but it pulled them off magnificently. The end boss fight, in my aspect, was actually quite weak. The final fight, I actually had much more challenge with the individual bosses than I did with the final boss, and I believe they could have made it more interesting. Those are the flaws, is the boss fights. Everything else though, I honestly feel is very well refined. I mean, you'll hear some problems with loading times, issues regarding that, but in the grand scheme of things, if you've got a powerful computer like I do, as well as the fact that fixed the bug, you shouldn't have a problem with any of it. So, in the grand scheme of things, my rating for this game, I would easily put it at 9.5 out of 10. It is, in my impression, that good. And if you are thinking of buying it, I hope this review has swayed your judgment whether to buy it or not. Please, if you do feel so inclined, comment below whether this swayed you to buy it, or you thought, you know, actually, thank you for showing me these couple of features. Obviously, you know, I didn't appreciate the stealth system or that fact, or the regenerating health. That's simple enough. But subscribe, like, whatever. Enjoy, folks, and have a good time.